So ever since Luke Cage was cancelled, we haven't really heard much from many of the actors really involved. Well, finally, Luke Cage himself, Mike Coulter, has some interesting info that he kind of drops by that kind of indicates that things weren't always as smooth as we'd like to believe. Now, of course, with the cancellation of Luke Cage and all the details that came out in regards to the future of what's happening with everything, we kind of just have to accept that these characters are probably never going to appear again. And recently, Mike Coulter was interviewed, and he was just like, look, I'm not sure what can happen with these characters or anything. I'm not sure if they could wind up anywhere else or what's going to happen. But he specifically goes into how it was during the second season and says that from the beginning up until the end, he kind of felt weird, like something was off. There just wasn't that same feeling there, and things were just changing in a weird way that he just didn't feel like everything was going as good as it should have. And when it got canceled, he wasn't really shocked. He says, it was a shock, but he expected it. So, and this is one of those things, right, where it's interesting to look at it because the way it was canceled and the news behind it and what they were saying about the upcoming seasons all seemed to point towards more, and then it just kind of dropped on them. And certainly, if the actor feels like things behind the scenes weren't lining up with what was happening, then certainly there's some truth to that, right? And they're not the ones that are like spreading a conspiracy. They're like, no, this is how it felt. So he's literally telling you, look, it wasn't going good. I didn't feel right, and it just didn't seem right when we were doing it. Kind of indicating that this was probably going to happen, and they knew it was going to happen, but they were just holding on to some hope. And certainly we've heard behind-the-scenes stories of the conflict between Marvel and what was happening, and specifically Netflix and what they wanted, and that wasn't going to fly. So it looks like it was just kind of bound to happen.